Aloha and welcome back. Today we are going to go over Adam Mockler. This is AOC drops shocking bombshell on Trump's secret plan. Adam Mockler is a liberal. He pushes the Democrats very, very hard. I'm going to cover a few of these channels like him. He has 1.24 million subscribers. This video came out a day ago and has over 118,000 views. So I'm going to go over some of these Democratic channels that have a whole lot of views, bigger than secular talk. They're more shillish than even Kyle Kalinske is. So let's check this out together.
All right, this is incredibly serious. AOC did an Instagram live stream last night where she went into detail about how MAGA Republicans and the Trump administration are trying to arrest House Democrats for exercising their oversight authority. Or in other words, Democrats are fulfilling their constitutional obligations and Republicans are trying to use that opportunity to arrest us. And AOC is the one leading the charge, calling it out in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I have multiple clips from her to play because I think it's incredibly important that we spread her word. We spread the word of all Democrats, but to be honest, AOC, in my opinion, is uniquely charismatic and concise when she speaks. So I always love to spread AOC's word. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and let's jump in with this article. The Trump admin eyes
like, share, subscribe to Across the Spectrum.
Arrests for House Dems over ICE incident. Democratic members of Congress who were a part of a scuffle with law enforcement officers in New Jersey may face arrests. But the crazy part is they may face arrests for just exercising their constitutional duties, right? This would be a major escalation in the Trump admin's arrest of politicians and other public servants, including the mayor of Newark and a judge in
Didn't the Democrats arrest Donald Trump?
Milwaukee. Again, attack the courts, attack the universities, attack judges, attack the media. You can do all of this to create a chilling effect where then entities preemptively bend the knee to your administration. I always say this, but it's not even about putting guns in the faces of CNN journalists and putting guns in the faces of judges. It's about using lawsuits in courts to apply pressure.
Like the Democratic Party does against the Green Party. They'd use lawsuits to kick us off of ballots all across the nation. These people are so goofy.
In an unjust way. That is authoritarianism. A lot of it happens through the courts, to be honest.
Right.
So the Department of Homeland Security is accusing House Democrats of assaulting law enforcement. The lawmakers say they were the ones who were assaulted. Which one do you think it is?
Uh-oh. I wonder who passed the crime bill that made it easier for officers to assault people. Somebody named Joe Biden for the Democrats?
Do you think our representatives beat the shit out of cops? Or do you think the cops were the ones who were beating
The Democratic representatives had the cops beat the shit out of us, the people.
Shit out of people? Which one happens more often? The lawmakers involved in the incident, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, Rob Menendez in New Jersey, and LaMonica McIver. Anybody represented by these amazing representatives? DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said in a CNN interview on Sunday morning that, quote, there will be more arrests coming. What they're saying, DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, who I've met this woman multiple times on the campaign trail when I was following her on Vivek Ramaswamy, she used to be his comms person, said in a CNN interview on Sunday morning that, quote, there will be more arrests coming. Now let's check out this first clip.
Who would have thought that when you militarize the police force, it could actually turn back against you? Strange.
Of AOC just going off on Instagram Live, then I'll play the truly viral clip.
Because that right there, that kind of attitude is what is actually anti-American. That kind of attitude is what is actually treasonous, is to attack our Constitution and to attack the obligations that we have in our Constitution, to attack free speech, to attack the powers of Congress, to erode our ability to investigate and conduct oversight. That is what is un-American. And this administration and Kristi Noem spits on the American flag every time she does that nonsense. So I don't want to hear anything about America first. These people and this administration is putting America last by acting like a man. A man is who they are pledging allegiance to. That is not what this country is about. And it will never be what this country is about as long as I'm alive. I'll tell you that much. Anyways, that done pissed me off.
Oh my God.
So
very well said. Let's play this clip. This one has 500,000 views in just a few hours overnight.
And now what DHS is trying to say, again, they're using public intimidation because they know that they cannot come for us all. They know that they cannot come for assault. And recently what they said is that DHS is allegedly looking into arresting members of Congress.
Yep, and sorry to pause it, but when she says public intimidation, that's actually a better way of saying what I've been trying to say, which is the chilling effect. When I'm talking about the chilling effect, it's suing one university in the hopes that that chills to other universities and they bend the knee, but I think public intimidation is a better way to say it.
No offense, but if you're paying more than $30 a month,
is that DHS is allegedly looking into arresting members of Congress who were showing up for their legal and constitutional obligation to conduct oversight. If anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem. You lay a finger on someone, on Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, on Representative, or any of the representatives that were there, you lay a finger on them, we are going to have a problem. Because the people who are breaking the law are the people who are not abiding by it.
There would be mass protests if this happens.
And it is...
The people who are breaking the law are the people who are not abiding by it. Yes, by definition, that is always true.
Enshrined in the law that members of Congress who show up to ICE and CBP facilities are required to be granted access, legally required to be granted access. And they legally cannot be inhibited from accessing these facilities to conduct their constitutional obligation to investigate and conduct oversight. So if Kristi Noem wants to break the law, that's on her. But it sure as hell is not someone like Representative Robert Menendez that needs to be arrested.
Exactly. And the Trump admin keeps doing this thing where they inverse reality to such an extent that they'll be blatantly violating the law or a Supreme Court order, but then saying that Democrats want to protect criminals. That's the one that really...
This is exactly what both parties do, but you have to do that to be one of the duopoly, right? Because you got to act like the other party's different, but they're not. They're the same. So you got to pretend that the other party's doing something that you're not doing, but when you're both doing the same exact things.
Messes with me. They'll say, you Democrats love to protect illegal criminals, but that in the same breath, they'll say, we're not going to actually comply with this Supreme Court order, therefore making us criminals, going against the law. Now, quote, we actually have body cam footage of these members of Congress assaulting ICE enforcement officers, including body slamming a female ICE officer. I do not...
slamming.
No shot that Representative Menendez or anyone body slammed a female ICE officer. And if they did, release the footage, and I'd condemn that. Or maybe, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of ICE officers, but on a personal level, I'd be like, you probably shouldn't do that as a representative. McLaughlin said there's a, quote, ongoing investigation that arresting the lawmakers is definitely on the table. So they're floating the idea of arresting Democratic lawmakers for exercising their judicial rights. She confirmed in a text message to Axios that the House Democrats may be arrested. Quote, threatening to arrest members of Congress for exercising their lawful oversight authority is another example of this administration abusing its power to try to intimidate anyone who stands up to them, said a spokesperson for Watson Coleman. The spokesperson said that their office has reviewed the body cam.
Pretty much all those elected officials should be in jail, not for this ICE stuff, but just for insider trading and all the shady shit they do anyway.
Footage, and that it proves ICE agents put their hands on members of Congress. It also proves that DHS has been lying about this incident. So let's see somebody release the body cam footage. I want to see it. If it does, I'll be the first one to cover it today. Trust me. Quote, we're honestly surprised they released this footage given that it so wholly contradicts their claims. Nobody was body slammed. Nobody assaulted any agents, and this footage confirms that. All right, let's check out this footage. I haven't watched this yet, but let's just watch it for the first time together.
Why would you say somebody got body slammed if they didn't?
It's kind of hard to tell. She's in the red over here. But it's okay. Here's a new angle. Let's see.
Is she the one body slamming people or getting body slammed? It doesn't look like she's with ICE, so.
There is no chance that this is assault. I see a massive crowd of people being pushed around. And you know what? If I'm going to be as charitable as possible, yes. LaMonica McIver has her arm out as a shield and it looks like she gets pushed into somebody else. Yeah, she gets pushed into him, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, the guy pushed her.
The idea that she was out there assaulting people and just not trying to get through the crowd is
That's the
absolutely
video.
absurd. Even House
Yeah,
Minority
like, if that's the video they put out, that doesn't look like assault. They're just like moshing around a bit.
Leader Hakeem Jeffries stood by his members in a statement saying, quote, "The masked agents who physically accosted the two congresswomen must be identified immediately." What happened? The lawmakers and ICE officers got into a physical confrontation over the arrest of Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, and the Democrats were there protesting the reopening of the facility to hold migrants, arguing that the private prison company operating it has failed to obtain the proper sanitation and safety permits. We will leave it at that, but what an insane story, and I'm glad that AOC is out there using her voice for good. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you drop some hearts to help boost this video. And
All right, drop a like, drop some hearts, boost the video. But this Adam Mockler, he's a kind of Democratic sycophant. He's gonna do always Democratic shilling. I'm gonna cover a few channels like this, just so hopefully let's go out there and leave some comments on his channel. Leave something about the Green Party, talking about see if he'll do an interview of some Green Party people. Leave comments on there. Oh, interview Butch Ware, interview Jane Pullman. She's running for governor out here in Hawaii, and Andy Ellis is running for governor in Maryland. So maybe put that in the comments or whatnot. If you can, talk to him, tell him to come to Across the Spectrum. But other than that, you keep coming back to Across the Spectrum.